Alright, hey guys, remember CCG back in the video. With this video, I'm bringing you guys a new Heroes deck profile featuring the new Evil Hero support in Supreme Darkness. If you guys want to see the combos, it's going to be on the top right corner here. But we're going to get started with the deck profile. So here we have one copy of Neos. You just need the one copy here. We're usually just going to search it out using our Infernal Devicer, and the targets for that are usually Neos Lord or our Shining Neos Wingman. And then Plasma here, obviously if you're able to get it out, then that's nice, but you only need the one copy for that. Then we have the new Evil Hero Infernal Rider. This card is pretty insane as it does let you search out your Dark Fusion from your deck or grave to your hand. And you can also use it to set a Super Polymerization, so it's going to give you potential plays during your opponent's turn. And then we have 3 copies of Malicious as it's now at 3. And so you definitely want to run 3 copies of this card, especially now that we're able to pitch it using something like Evil Hero Doom Prison. And you can also recycle Malicious using the effect of our Evil Hero Doom Prison. And then we have 3 copies of Faris. This is just the usual hero play, you know, with the Faris, Increase, and Vyon, which if you guys aren't aware of it, it's going to be in the combos video on the top right corner. And here we have 1 copy of Evil Hero Sinister Necrom. You can banish this card from your graveyard and special summon 1 Evil Hero monster from your hand or deck. So that's great. You can even pitch this if you want with the Doom Prison, and then from there activate its effect. We have 3 copies of Evil Hero Adusted Gold, as you can search out your Dark Fusion or any card that mentions it. So we have a good amount of targets, so I think it justifies running the 3 copies. 3 copies of Stratos, as when this card is no more special summon, you can activate one of these effects. Obviously, you're going to be normally adding a hero monster from your deck to your hand. And you can see we're running 48 cards, which is a lot. It is definitely a lot. It's just very difficult to cut cards here. But the nice thing is that we do have a lot of ways to search things out. Yeah, we have the 1 copy of the new Evil Hero Doom Prison. If you control a fusion monster that must be special summoned with Dark Fusion, then you can special summon this card out, and you can pitch a hero monster from your deck to your grave. Usually it's going to be Malicious Bane, and if you fusion summon a hero monster this turn, you can use this face-up card as a substitute for any fusion material specifically listed on it. And then we have 1 copy of Liquid Soldier. We're going to get some draws out of this, so that's great. 1 copy of the Shadow Mist for the mass change, 2 copies of the Vyon, like I said. Denier here is able to bring itself out, which makes it a pretty good target here for when we do use our Fusion Destiny, as this is a Destiny hero. And then we have 2 copies of Increase, again, like I covered here. For the hand traps here, I went for the generic ones of 3 Ash Blossoms. And then for this, I think Mulcharmy is great. We want to be able to draw a lot of cards, and so having Mulcharmy here means we could draw a lot of cards, and then from there, kind of sculpt our hand a bit. And then we have 3 copies of Evil Assault. This card is pretty great, as you can discard 1 card and take 1 level 4 or lower evil hero monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. And this is great because it adds more consistency to the deck. That's why I'm not too worried about it being a 48 card deck. And if this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it and add 1 Dark Fusion from your grave to your hand. So again, some recyclability. And that's why we're okay with running the 1 copy of Dark Fusion. 3 copies of A Hero Lives, another thing that just adds consistency. You're going to see this in the combo video as well. A Hero Lives here, you can use this to bring out Stratos, and then from there pop off. 1 copy of Polymerization, you just need the 1 copy. 1 copy of Miracle Fusion as well. You're able to search this out and then continue your plays. 3 copies of Fusion Destiny, because DPE is still a pretty integral part of these combos. 1 copy of the new Dark Contract, as you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that must be special summoned with Dark Fusion by shuffling its materials from your field, grave, and or banishment into the deck. So pretty good freedom here, and you can also search out Dark Fusion if you need to. And then we have 1 copy of Dark Fusion, which is basically Polymerization, but they can't be targeted that turn. Mass change here so that we can go into our Dark Law, as it's very annoying for your opponent to have to deal with it on top of everything else we're going to summon. 1 copy of Caught by the Graves, because this is still heroes, so you don't like to get hit by hand traps, so having the Caught by the Grave is great when you get it. Super Polymerization, we can search this out, and fusion summon. 1 copy of Dark Supremacy, so this is a new card as well. I think it's great because it does help with a lot of the problems of heroes, and that is that you don't have a lot of negates. And with Dark Supremacy here, it's searchable, and then you can target face-up cards your opponent controls up to a number of Dark Fusion and spells that mention it from your graveyard and negate their effects until the end of this turn. So you can negate a bunch of cards on the board if you summon a bunch of Dark Fusion monsters. And then we have 1 copy of Favorite Contact here. It's searchable, and you can special summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that mentions a hero monster's material by placing. So it's basically a fusion card that uses cards from the hand, field, grave, and or banished monsters, and you can use it during your opponent's turn. So that's great. All right, guys, before we go to the extra deck, if you are enjoying the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and consider becoming a patron. For just $5 a month, you can help influence the channel and help support the channel. But otherwise, we're going to get started here with one copy of Wake Up Your Elemental Hero. This requires one Elemental Hero Fusion monster plus one Warrior monster, so it's very easy to get out. It's going to gain 300 attack for each materials used to summon it, so it can get pretty beefy, and it can do a bunch of attacks here as well, up to the material. And if this card battled a monster, you can destroy that monster, and if you do inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. So again, you're going to be able to do a bunch of burn damage. That's kind of like a great way of finishing your opponent off here, if they just have a bunch of beaters. And if this fusion summon card is destroyed, you can special summon one warrior monster from your hand or deck. So you're going to see in a couple of the combos, I am going to do this, where I'm just going to pop my Wake Up Your Elemental Hero just to activate its effect. Then we have one copy of the new evil hero Neil's Lord. This guy's great because you're actually able to take one face-up monster your opponent controls, and also it just requires one effect monster in the field along with Neil's or a card that mentions it. So that could be great because now you have a decent super poly target, and on top of that, you're going to be able to take your opponent's card. He also cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, so he's going to be pretty annoying for your opponent to have to deal with after you steal their toughest card on the board. So just a pretty cool new boss monster. And then we have one copy of Elemental Hero Shining Neil's Wingman. It gains 300 attack for each monster in your graveyard. It can't be destroyed by card effects. If it's special summoned, you can destroy cards your opponent controls up to a number of different attributes among the monsters in the field. And from there, you can pop a bunch of cards. And if this card destroys the monster by battle, inflicts damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. So again, another beater here. You're going to see in one of the combos, you're actually able to get a bunch of different attribute hero monsters out and be able to pop up to 4 cards on the board, along with the other heroes' effects. Then I have one copy of Evil Hero Malicious Bane. I think Malicious Bane is still cool, and this is still... I'm still trying to lean in on the evil hero portion of the deck, but Malicious Bane here, you can summon it with Dark Fusion. It's pretty difficult for your opponent to get off the board, and it can nuke the board as well. Just a really cool boss monster. DP, it's still pretty strong, being able to pop one of your opponent's cards, revive this card, and have that recursion and control over it. It's just reliable. One copy of Elemental Hero Absolute Zero. If this thing dies, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. It makes it tricky for your opponent to play around with this, especially now that we have more interactions in the form of Dark Supremacy and Evil Hero Neil's Lord, where we could take something. It's going to be just annoying if you can get this out, and your opponent's going to have to try to find a workaround. Then we have one copy of Elemental Hero Flying Wingman, Infernal Rage. If this card is special summoned, you can add one card with favorite in its name from deck or graveyard to your hand. That's normally we're going to use it for, just to get our favorite contact. And then from there, you can tribute this card that was fusion summoned using a normal monster as material, and special summon one level 7 or lower Elemental Hero monster from your deck or extra deck that cannot be normal summon / set. So again, with this, you're just going to use this to search out your Sunrise. From there, you can use Sunrise to get your Miracle Fusion and continue your plays. We have one copy of Evil Hero Dark Knight. It must be special summoned with Dark Fusion, and monsters your opponent control lose attack equal to the total original attack of the fusion material used for this card summon. So from this, you're just going to have a perpetual attack decrease on your opponent's board, which is a lot more annoying than you may think. It's just a weird workaround, especially if you're able to establish other monsters with this guy. And if this face-up special summon card in its owner's control leaves the field by an opponent's card, you can target one fiend or warrior monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position. So being able to just continue your plays is always nice. One copy of Sunrise. I kind of explained how we usually go into this, but yeah, it searches out Miracle Fusion, and when an attack is declared involving another hero monster you control, you can target one card in the field and pop it. That's nice. Darklaw, still a very powerful hero monster, as any card sent to your opponent's graveyard is banished, which is very annoying. And once returned, if your opponent tries to search out a card, you're able to banish one random card from your opponent's hand. So it's very crippling because there's a lot of decks that specifically have cards that pitch cards to the graveyard, and so preventing that, very annoying. And if they want to have some recursion with that, they're gonna have to deal with Darklaw. Just a very powerful card. If they try to search anything out, well, they lose a card in their hand. And in Yu-Gi-Oh, you have a very limited card economy, so this is gonna be hurt a lot. So it's still, Darklaw is still very powerful. And then we have one copy of the new Infernal Backlash. This requires one Elemental Hero Avian or Burst Denetrix plus one hero monster. So usually you're going to be using Dual Prison here to qualify as either of those monsters, and it must be special summoned with Dark Fusion. If this card is special summoned, you can add one Dark Fusion or one card that mentions it from your deck or graveyard to your hand. As I established, there's a good amount of targets for that. And if your hero monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, inflict 2100 damage to your opponent. So it's not going to be crazy for that, but you can just use this to search out Dark Fusion or a card that needs it. And then from here, we have one copy of Extra Hero Wonder Driver. Usually just get this out so that you're able to special summon out a fusion monster onto this, and then being able to target one Polymerization spell card or fusion spell card or change quick play spell in your grave and set it down is nice, especially if it's a Polymerization. You're going to be able to reuse it. Then we have one copy of Infernal Driver. You can use this, reveal your Neils in order to search it out. and use it for whatever you need for that specific reason. And then we have 2 copies of extra hero Cross Crusader. This card is just always good to go into very early, as you can just bring out your Malicious Bane and then pitch it in order to add 1 hero monster with different name from your deck to your hand, and then from there just bring out Malicious Bane out once again. So it's just a pretty powerful combination here. But this is my deck profile for heroes using the new Evil Hero support. Let me know what you guys think, and make sure to watch for the combos and stay tuned for other combos and deck profiles for the other decks that got support in Supreme Darkness, and consider supporting the Patreon if you're able to. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.